You're listening to the Fun Never Ends podcast with Metalhead Nelson.
Your voice disappeared.
Oh God, I did it again. Well, I'm just gonna continue from here.
Okay.
From here. Live, anything can happen live. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Fun Never Ends podcast, everybody. I am Metalhead Nelson. This is episode 36. This is gonna be available on all your podcast platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and YouTube. All right. So today I have an amazing guest on the show. He is one of the hardest working musicians in Hawaii. Hawaii Music Award winner. Nahoku Hano Award winner for Hawaii's favorite entertainer of the year. Joining me live via Skype from Hawaii, please welcome Mr. John-Valentine. How you doing?
Aloha. I'm doing good. You can call me Coconut Johnny.
Hey, Coconut
Coconut Head.
Coconut Head.
That's what my brothers used to tease me. Because my head was big.
Oh my God. How you guys doing over there in quarantine?
Quarantine?
You've been going live from Studio Valentine.
Yeah. Starting tomorrow, I'll be performing at 2 o'clock every single day.
2 o'clock.
For the rest, for the rest of this thing.
So if you want to see him go live every day at 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock Hawaii time, right?
Yes, Hawaii time. So Facebook, Facebook.com.
Johnny Valentine Hawaii.
It's Facebook.com/John-Valentine-Hawaii.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go check him out. Leave him a virtual tip.
That would be nice.
Or his PayPal. I have all the information listed already. Everything's listed.
Yes, please support the musicians because we're out of work. Even the richest musicians are not gigging right now.
That's the sucky part.
Yeah. Hall & Oates were supposed to be here, and they canceled that.
Yeah, Hall & Oates were supposed to be out here in Fantasy Springs, down in Palm Springs, and that got cut out too. So.
Yeah. But life goes on. I'm sure they're going to be doing Facebook Live.
Yeah, Metallica's doing Facebook Live. Everybody's doing Facebook Live now. Even Garth doing Facebook Live.
Wow. It's amazing. Well, thanks to Mark Zuckerberg, huh?
Oh, yeah. So I wanted to get into this and ask you, what age did you start playing music and singing? And what was your first instrument?
When I was 6 years old, I used to walk around the house pretending I had a guitar. And my brothers used to listen to a lot of the Beatles. So I actually had songs memorized when I was 6 years old, singing Beatles songs. And then that's my favorite band. And then my father made me a guitar with it's like an ukulele size because I was only 6 years old. He made it out of plywood and rubber bands and nails. It was really dangerous to play with. But he could, yeah. But he just wanted me to have something while I walk around the house. So I played that thing, and then I picked up the ukulele when I was like fourth grade, and then I got really good at it. By the sixth grade, I was doing Johnny B. Good, Chuck Berry, and it was But the funny part is nobody plays that, here as far as on the ukulele, and I was playing it at the sixth grade.
That has to be epic. I would love to hear that on one of your
Yeah.
live these days.
So then I'll do it when I go back on. And then when I was seventh, I think I was seventh or eighth grade, I picked up the guitar. Well, I was seventh grade. I picked up the drums because my brothers was trying to make a band. I come from a family of seven, And so my two older brothers was trying to make a band. And then when they left, I would go on the drum set and I would play every day. I remember that I was 11 years old. And then when I was 12, my brother sold the drum set because he needed money. Then I picked up the guitar. I thought I was going to be a drummer. And then, which was a...
Play drums here and there, or just kind of...
Yeah, I have a full drum set. I have a full studio with everything. Yeah. So one day I'll do
build that studio?
Say that again?
How long did it take you to build that studio?
It's still going. You never end up finishing a studio. You know, it's always changing, especially with technology, you know. But yeah, but ever since high school, I went to college. The first year I went to college, a friend called me and asked me if I wanted to make a duo with him. And so by the second year of college, I was working full time. And it's, yeah.
But you do this full time now. This is the life.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, it's funny. Last night I never got to watch TV because I never got to watch, you know, Netflix or anything, because I know that's what everybody's doing right now, staying home, binge watching, and eating a lot.
Pretty much. What else do we do?
Well, that's why I didn't do that. I was surprised. I didn't even watch television last night. I was working in the studio. I'm mixing 2 albums right now for other people.
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So you play, you produce, you gig, you do it all.
Whatever it takes to pay the mortgage.
The hardest working man in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Aside from the Beatles, who else were your biggest influences?
Oh, jeez, I don't know where to begin. When I picked up, when I was watching my brothers, they were doing a lot of Santana, you know, the music of the early 70s. And then when I picked up the guitar, I started playing America, you know, all the acoustic guitar songs from the 70s. Yeah, exactly. I do all that. I still do it. And then I heard Kalapana and then C&K. Then I got into that. So it was kind of weird that I'm in both groups because I knew all the songs from 8th grade.
You learned them all by ear? Or?
Yeah. When I picked up the guitar, I wanted to learn how to pick because I love lead guitar solos. So I bought a blues book. So I got into the blues for like a long time, actually. I really played a lot of blues. So that was during when I was learning Kalapana stuff. On the side, I bought a record player from Goodwill. I remember this so well. And then, you know, it goes 33 to 17, yeah? You know, this 45, and the speed. So it's exactly an octave down. So I would learn the guitar solos when I was like 15, 16, 17. From the first guitar solos I learned was note for note was Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, wow.
And I played that at 17. And that time I finally had a guitar. I asked my mom, I wanted an electric. Yeah. So she bought me a Stratocaster, a used one, which I wish I could have kept because it would have been like $5,000 now because it was made in the 60s.
What happened to that Strat?
I think I sold it for another guitar. I should have kept it, you know.
Yeah. That's cool. And you have a lot of guitars. So,
yeah.
Do you have a favorite one that you go to or a favorite couple that you love to go to? That's your workhorse?
Yeah, I have a workhorse. But, you know, they're all different. To me, the Telecaster kind of matches anything. Yeah. When I have a band, I normally bring the Telecaster because I can match any sound you want. A lot of people don't know, but Jeff Beck, Led Zeppelin, they all were using Telecasters in the studio. But when you see them live, they have the Les Paul.
Oh yeah.
But it's actually Telecasters what they played in the studio. So.
Yeah, I remember when I saw you in Vegas, Sam's Town. You were playing at Telly, and you were telling me And that was one of the guitars that Bruno got you.
Yeah. Well, that one matches when I gig with Henry.
Yeah.
Because Henry's guitar is kind of trebly, but he's got that sound of like real. He's a driving force. So I need to put the bottom part. So the Telecaster, the one I use that Bruno gave me, has a humbucker in the front. So it sounds almost like a Les Paul.
Sounds great, man.
Yeah, it sounds huge. It's the fattest sounding guitar I have. So,
What kind of pedals do you use, by the way?
I have every pedal you can imagine, but you don't see it though, because I should take a picture of it and show it to you. And there's a whole bunch of more pedals in storage, and when I need, and I have an Octaver. I even have the, what do you call that? The voice box, the one Peter Frampton used. Yeah, the talk box. I have that. I have the Proctave that Jimi Hendrix used. It's an ugly Octaver. It's just ugly sounding. But that's what.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And then I have maybe 4 different distortion pedals. So that way, if I want to sound like Brian Setzer, like Chuck Berry, I have that pedal set up. Then if I want to sound like ZZ Top, I have that set up. And if I want to sound like Santana, it's all set up already. I don't have to bend down and, change adjustments.
Click away.
Yeah.
Leah May Cook, she's on the chat room over here.
Oh, nice.
Saying they're listening on the Facebook group.
Oh, cool.
And then she says, coming through like you're sitting right next to us. Mahalo for
Wow,
sure.
nice. Oh, that's good.
Speaking of sounding like and also looking like, you were Elvis impersonator too, along with Richie Valens.
You know what happened was when I started performing, I had a duo, and I would just goof off. I would sing, "Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me?" And then people kept saying, "Man, you can really sound like him." I don't think I really sound like him. I sound like me pretending to be Elvis. But
you sound kind of like Elvis, man. To be honest.
So, and then it became a goof on stage. Then I would put my collar up, and then finally, this guy Tommy D gave me his Elvis suit, and then I would put that on. And then Bruno's dad actually bought the real Elvis belt. That the guy who makes it for Elvis, he bought that belt and gave it back. Yeah, the guy who makes it, he went to the guy and got one made for me. And so when I joined the Love Notes show back in the 80s, I had to do the Elvis in the show. And then I did Richie Valens in the show, did La Bamba, and I did Roy Orbison. Because Roy Orbison and Elvis, they kind of sound alike. I was all right. He just has this voice like he's about to yawn, Pretty woman. So that's the voice of... and then I had to teach the other guys how to do impersonations because, see, I'm a voice teacher, so I can imitate different voices. I can imitate your voice. But anyway, so if you do Chubby Checker, he sounds like Kermit. And Pee Wee Herman is like Kermit, but it's like Exactly. So what I was teaching one of the guys in the band to do Chubby Checker. So I told him, just pretend you're Pee Wee Herman. And he's like, what? So I said, yeah, think like this. Come on, baby, let's do the twist. Come on, baby.
You make a good point here.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So and then the funniest, well, it's not funny now. I mean, it was funny. It's funny now, but when 9/11 happened, I lost 6 nights a week of work. And then the Elvis impersonator in the Aloha Las Vegas show in Hawaii just left the show. So they asked me if I could audition to be the Elvis because their show kept going on and they were doing 7 nights a week. So I joined the show and then I auditioned and I got the part. So I was the Elvis in that show. And the funny part, Bruno was 16 and he was the Michael Jackson in that show. So he used to catch the bus from school straight to Waikiki, and I would meet him there, and we both in the dressing room together. It was like, wow, we're gigging together again. So it was kind of funny.
How did you go about doing the Michael Jackson impersonator, and then to Little Elvis? I've seen that clip when you guys are on stage and Elvis,
Yeah.
Little Elvis.
Bruno was a big fan of me. He didn't know who Elvis was or Michael Jackson was. It was, my sister would bring him to all my gigs all the time. So he would be watching right there by the stage, like just putting his hand on the stage sometimes. I would tell him, hey, go back, it's too loud for your ears. And then he would, and then in the daytime, I would babysit him. Like my sister would call me, he's asking for you. So I would pick him up, and then we would play around the house because my studio has drum set, piano, has everything. So he wants to play everything. So I go on the drums, and then he's playing the drums, and then I would teach him how to sing, and then he saw a Michael Jackson clip. That's when he fell in love with Michael Jackson. So he was only like 3.5 or 3. So then I would show him some Michael Jackson moves, and then I would show him some Elvis moves. So he would mix the two together. That's why if you ever watch him dance, he's actually mixing both together. And so by the time he was 3.5, he imitated everything that I was doing on stage. That's why if you watch the performance again, it's a mirror. Like he would so I would curl my lip on the right side, and he would curl his lip on the left side. Yeah. So it was kind of funny. And then when we do our moves, he was total opposite of me all the time. So, yeah.
Awesome, man. You taught him like how to play pretty much everything.
No, his father is actually a fantastic percussionist. Peter Hernandez was the most popular percussionist on the island. He is on everybody's album. He was known as the man who has it all because he had 2 timpanis. He was a percussionist for the Al Harrington show. So him and my sister was the lead dancer for the Al Harrington show. So that's how they hooked up. So and then while they were courting, they would come to my gigs and watch me play. So when the kids were born, they would come to my gigs. And finally, I joined the Love Notes, which was Peter, Bruno's dad's production, which was a doo-wop show. And that's how the whole thing became. I became the impersonator in that show.
How was it playing the Aloha Bowl in 1990?
Oh, wow. That was fun. We did that show 2 years in a row. The other one wasn't, I don't know if it was on videotape. I don't know if anybody has it, but I didn't see that one. But Bruno was on the second one, the 1990 one. But we did in 89 too, without Bruno. Yeah, that was fun. We actually was lip singing to that because they were strict before because there's a big delay in the arena. So a lot of times they're lip singing. A lot of the shows that you see because the delay is too much. So if you watch it again, there was Glenn Medeiros. Is that the one with Glenn Medeiros and Melvin Lead? They end the
I watched it earlier today.
So they were. If you watch it again, it's funny because Glenn Medeiros is singing Melvin's part and Melvin is singing Glenn's part. They forgot. So, but that was a fun event.
That was at the stadium, right?
Yeah, that was at the stadium. So people think that Bruno only did the stadium. They don't realize that he did it before.
Yeah, when he was a lot younger.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you jammed with Bruno back in when he came back to do a sold-out show over at Blaisdell. You guys jammed at the Chart House, right? Right after the game.
Yeah. Yeah, we did the stadium. His father wanted me to be in the show, um, we rehearsed and we did like a half an hour set before he went on, and then after the show, that was the next night. He called me. Bruno called me. He said, "Hey, I'm going to Chart House. Meet us after work." And I was getting off at the Moana, so I met him at Chart House. He was outside, and then I said, "Okay, let's go in." Then we went in. As soon as we went in, the band recognized me, but they didn't see Bruno yet. So on the video, it's edited. The guy said, "Oh my God, it's John Valentine. Oh my God, it's Bruno Mars." so we walked in, and then we went directly on stage, and I'm like, "Dude, we just walked in." And then so we did that. We did a couple songs. So I think I posted the one of them, but we did a couple songs. But I only posted one of them.
And
Yeah.
it's good, man. It sounds good. So, how long have you known Henry Kapono?
I've actually sang on his solo debut when C&K kind of broke up. He did a solo album, and then he hired the Love Notes to do backup vocals for him, and that was probably in the 80s, probably 86, 87, I don't know, around there, but in late 80s. And then I actually arranged the part for that. It was Sincerely. And so he wanted us to do a cappella in the front, and then he came in and they were backing him up with oohs and ahs. And then after that, the funniest thing, it was like 7 years ago, we were backstage. He was doing Henry and Friends, and Kalapana was one of the featured act. So we're sitting in the dressing room, and I said, "Hey, Henry," and said, "Hey, Johnny," and I was like, "Wow, he knows my name." And then, because I'm a big fan of Henry, because I think he's just incredible. I love that man. And so I said to him, "Hey, it's too bad that you can't do this with Cecilia, because he was such a big part." And the funny thing, he said, "Yeah, he had the better songs too." So that's how humble he is, So I said, "Well, if you ever want to do that again, I'm the guy." And he's looked at me like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I'm singing Mackie Fury songs in Kalapana. Cecilia's songs is not as hard as Mackie. Mackie's songs are harder, because he's got all this major 7 chords, and so, and Cecilia has this kind of format that he'd use. If you analyze all his songs, it's kind of the same kind of chord format. He goes to the 1, to the 4. I mean, but anyway, so 6 months later, he texted me, "Okay, we're booked at the Blue Note." And I'm like, "Okay." So I had to learn all these songs. So. But I kind of knew it already.
Yeah. I remember the first time I had seen you guys. It was over at the Grammy Museum, February 8th, 2017.
Oh, wow.
You guys did Your Friends, the Lifetime Party 70s music. That was the first time I saw you, Henry. It was Alex Kawakami and Blaina Singh.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't know you then.
No, that was when I had asked you for a photo. I had met Henry prior to the gig when him and one of his twins were just hanging out over by the Boss booth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that was a good show, man. I really enjoyed
Thanks.
it. I went straight after work all the way down, took the subway down, and caught the show.
Wow.
I got that ticket one day before it sold out. I was like,
wow.
So.
Yeah, you know what's good about it is because you're hearing 4 voices, and all our voices are so different texture. And that's the beauty about it, because Henry has got this, and I got a little bit thicker voice, and Blaine and Alex got this James Taylor sound, kind of like high like this, you know.
Yeah.
And so so the textures are really nice together.
Yeah, that was nice seeing those two guys play over at the Blue Note when I was in Hawaii back in 2018 when I came to visit
Oh
you
yeah, nice.
over at the
Yeah,
beach bar.
yeah,
Speaking of the beach bar, how long have you played at the beach bar? And it looks like an amazing gig, just chill and
yeah. And it is. Uh, since 2006, I've been there. But
looks like a nice setup. Along with
oh
I
yeah,
know you play hard rock with your band Candy Bullets, which
yeah,
has a very police vibe to it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that was Bruno's idea. He said, "Hey, Uncle, you should make a police band because you sound like Sting sometimes." So I said, "Hey, that's a good idea." So the whole Candy Bullets thing was supposed to uh keep it going,
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's hard when you don't have a record label, you know.
yeah.
That's why.
It sounds
Thank you.
amazing. I love listening to it.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's hard when you don't have a record label because I'm an indie artist, so I'm doing everything myself.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's nice not to be in a record label because then, you know, I don't have to be like, you got to go here, you got to go there, you got to.
you do it what you
So
want on your own terms.
exactly. So
And how
that's
is
the
it
good.
playing the Royal Kona Resort?
Oh, I love that gig. Like I'm a there. Because what happens is the Royal Kona, one of the radio stations is actually in the hotel.
Oh
One
wow.
of the rooms is, so that's why they're advertising it like crazy.
Yeah.
So when I walk in, everybody's applauding already. There's like maybe 300 people waiting just for me to walk out. And I walk out, I'm just setting up people like applauding already because they're seeing me. So I do a full on show there. Like
That's awesome. And you do that about how many times like a year? Like you guys you go there
well,
frequently about a month?
see what happens is there's already 4 acts and they're only doing it every Thursday. So if there's 5 Thursdays, that's when I'm there. Because you got the legends like Ledward Kapana, Henry Kapono, John Chiave, and I forget. Oh, and Brother Nolan.
Yeah.
So you know,
How
I'll get one of the steady night if somebody dies. Sorry. That's a bad. That's a bad one.
Speaking of gigs, you're also featured in Henry's Artist to Artist series over at the Blue Note too.
Yeah, that was fun.
And you
So
played
I just did
Valentine's
that.
Day back to back.
Yeah, I did it Valentine's Day. Yep, back to back. So that was fun because it was all about me. And I was flattered that Henry called me for that. First, I felt like, are you running out of artists? What the heck? But because I'm just a gigging musician. I don't consider myself like the fame. I never went for
That's
fame.
musician.
I never joined the Hokus. I mean, the only reason why I uh, I got the award because my wife entered the CD, and when the reason why she entered it is because the distributors said, "We're carrying your stuff. You got to enter the
Yeah.
Hokus, the award show." So I'm like, I can't even go because I'm gigging that night because I was performing with Kalapana at the Waikiki Shout,
Oh wow.
and so I dropped off my wife. So what happened was the album was nominated for Best Contemporary Album against Jeff Johnson, Makana, and the Capenas, Kelly Boyd. And I didn't win that, but they put you in a category when you're in the finals. They put you in a category for favorite entertainer, and the favorite entertainer is voted not by the board, but by the people.
Yeah.
And then I found out that all these musicians were actually voting for me. So Kelly Boy from Kapana voted for me. Kapana, what's his name? Forget. Anyway, all these musicians came up to me and said, I voted for you, I voted for you, And I'm like, why? I said, because everybody knows you and you should get something because you never ever come to these things. I said, the reason why I never come to these things because to me, music is not a competition. You're a different artist from me. You might like metal. That's your thing. How can I be better than you? I can't be better than anybody because this is what I do. I'm just trying to be better of what I do to make me a better person. So I never entered that because I never thought music competition. And then as that I realized that no, but it makes people realize where you're at. And I still think that music is not a competition. But anyway, I dropped off my wife. She was hanging out she sat with Alex Kawakami then. And then I went to the concert. And then Gaylord brought me back, Gaylord from Kalapana. And he's one of the board members. He was trying to get me back right away. And I said, "Good, no problem. It doesn't end." So I don't know if he knew. And so anyway, I get there. My wife's off stage with an award. It's like, you won. I'm like, what? So I thought that was funny that I won Favorite Entertainer. And then, but I heard the roar was, like the applause was like, wow, finally. It's like, so people, because I've been in this.
Everybody just went crazy.
Yeah, I've been in this business so long. So not only that, but a lot of the people that voted for me were musicians and singers that took lessons from me. So, like all the singers like
you're hardworking, man.
like Myla Gibson won Vocalist of the Year, but people don't know. I taught her some voice lessons. Rocky Brown, she was the one of the singers of Miss Saigon, Broadway musical. She took voice lessons from me. So there's all these singers that took voice lessons from me that nobody knows about. I mean, Bruno used to take voice lessons from me, and the lead singer of Hiroshima, Yvette Nee, used to take voice lessons from me.
I'll have to go see Hiroshima next time they're back down here.
Yeah. And then Bobby Wilson, I taught him some voice lessons. He's a headliner in Vegas. Well, there's nothing in Vegas now, but he does Stevie Wonder, Little Richard, and Jackie Wilson. So I was teaching him how to sing properly. So I always wanted to be the guy behind the scene. So
more of a session guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of gigs, you played in Arnel Pineda's band when they played Blaisdell December 17th, 2017. How was that experience? Talk about that.
Oh my God, that's probably one of the highest point in my musical career. Arnel Pineda's voice is just incredible. He was showing me some vocal techniques that I never heard of because he can actually do whistle notes. With his voice. And so he was trying to show me, and I got it one day, and then I don't know why I can't get it again. And then we hung out. We became good friends. He's my Facebook buddy now. He watches me on Facebook Live, so it's kind of funny. What happened was he has a foundation that is incredible. So he actually helped a lot of young Filipinos that can't make it with the schools and stuff. So he helps them out. So the foundation, when he came to Hawaii, he was on break with Journey. So whenever he has a break with Journey, he creates a band wherever he goes. So he didn't have a band here. So what happened is we created the band for him. So we had the best musicians. We had Jeanette on keyboards. We had John Hawes, who's the bass player for Henry Kapono. Garen, the bass player for Kalapana. The drummer for Kalapana. And so they asked me originally to do Van Halen stuff. But all the songs they are now requested was like 3 guitar songs, like Kansas. And I said, I can't do this gig by myself. I need another guitar player. So what do you need? I need more money so you guys hire another guitar player. So I got Dan from Dan's Guitars. So he is the Van Halen of Hawaii. He does all Van Halen songs. That's all he does. So me and Dan got together. Dan Takamori. There's a video I posted of him doing Eruption.
Okay.
So
Look that up.
so we got together. Me and Dan got together like every day, like twice a week, just before Arnell gets here. And then I had the band rehearsing in my studio. We rehearsed 3 times before Arnell came. So by the time Arnell came, he was blown away. We had all his songs down, and he was like, "Oh my God, I thought I had to rehearse like a couple times, but this one rehearsal was enough."
What was that
So
set list like? Journey songs, Van Halen songs, and
no, there was no Journey songs. It was all the songs that he got discovered from.
Oh, with this band, the Zoo.
Exactly. So it was a bunch of Filipino medleys, rock medleys from the Philippines. We did "Carry On My Wayward Son." In fact, there's a list on my YouTube channel, Arnell's playlist. That was the songs. So if you go on my, if you go on my YouTube, because that's the songs, because that's how he gave it to us. But the charts that they gave us was incredible. It was the best charts I've ever seen. I mean, it was really professionally done. And so we did Beatles. We did My Sharona. Today would be My Corona. Anyway, Rule the World. In fact, a lot of the songs we did, I end up doing it at my gigs now. Because
you do a lot of good songs on your gigs, man.
Yeah. So the funny part,
play it and how it sounds really
thanks.
Relaxing.
Thank you. But the funny part about now, I told him because we were eating, and I was right beside him. We were eating lunch, and I said, "Hey, you know, when I found out you were in Journey, I was so jealous because I was like, I can do that. I can sing like Steve Perry." But then when I saw your story on Netflix, oh my God, I was like, "Yep, you deserve to be in Journey, man." So I just want to take my hat off to you. I think you're incredible.
Yeah, I've seen that story too. It's incredible.
Yeah, he was almost homeless, but he's another guy. He's a sweet guy, you know. He's super nice. I mean, he's really down to earth. Yeah, because he had his own dressing room at the Blaisdell. But he would come and visit us all the time. He said, "I don't want to be in my dressing room. It's like I'm all alone in there." So he just hung out with us, and so we got to tell him jokes and stuff like that.
That's awesome, man. Can you talk about a little bit about the Kung Fu Elvis for Hawaii 5-0 episode? I saw that clip.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing.
So my niece Tiara, which is Bruno's older sister, is connected with the casting director. Her name is Rachel Sutton, and she has an assistant, Brent. So Brent and them went to school together. So Brent was talking to her about they need to cast 5 different Elvises. And there's transgender Elvis, black African American Elvis, fat Elvis, and old Elvis, and Kung Fu Elvis. So she called me and said, "Hey, they're looking for Elvis, but they want them to be like real impersonators. So they're gonna call you." I said, "Okay." So they called me and said, "Oh, I'm really not interested because I already sold my Elvis suit." And "You sure this is a speaking part?" "Nah, I'm good." And then my niece calls me up again. Said, "I heard you turn them down." I said, "Yeah." "Why? It's $1,000 a day." I said, "What?" Because it's a speaking part. "Oh, and how many days?" "It's 3 days." Said, "Oh, jeez." So I called them back, and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but now you have to come in and audition because we have 4 Elvises that wants to audition."
Wow.
And and the funny part, I found out who auditioned. It was Johnny from the Las Vegas show. Bill Berger was another Elvis impersonator. It was like real Elvis impersonators. So I went in there. So my line was so anyway, my Garrett comes up to me and they gave me my speaking line. My line was poison. He would come up to me and ask, "Did you poison him?" And my part was, "Poison? That ain't my style. If I'm gonna kill somebody, I use my bare hands." So I went to the audition and I was lip syncing like poison, doing like the Chinese kung fu movies, making the mouth wrong. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. It's like poison. That ain't my style. Huh? And then she stopped me because she's filming me, the casting director. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing a Chinese Kung Fu Elvis." "Have you seen the show?" I said, "I don't have cable." "So you haven't seen any of the show?" I said, "No." "It's a serious show." "And you're a murder suspect, and you have to play the part of a murder suspect. So you got to be serious." And I was like, "Oh, crap."
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So I did it twice, seriously. And then after that, she said, "Okay, do it whatever you want." And by the fifth take, I was walking backwards like, "Oh, let's have a good show. Yeah, see you later." And then, yeah, adios. And then the next day, I got a call, said, "You got the part." And then, so I went in. They dressed me up. They took my measurements because they actually made a suit for me. So that's what they do. They make you a full-on costume.
That is awesome.
But yeah, so I got to the. No, you don't get to keep it. It sucks. Yeah.
Go back to wardrobe.
But yeah. So the day of the shooting now, right there, I'm thinking, should I be funny? Should it be serious? Yeah, I'm gonna do what I like. They can't stop me now. I'm here. So that's what you see. You see the take. I was just doing what I think would have been funny, and that was one take, and everybody applauded like, "Wow,
That was all one take. That's awesome.
That was all one take. Everybody else was like 18 to 25 takes.
Oh my god!
And by the time I was walking out, everybody was applauding like, "Oh my god, this guy is incredible." And then so yeah, so if you get a chance, it's season 5, episode 21.
I'll check that out for sure, man. From the tours that you've been on, do you have any interesting kind of road tales? Like funny moments or embarrassing moments that you would like to share, of course.
Yeah. I can't even think of any right now, but when I was touring with John Hans, he's a fantastic bass player. With our van, we would have to pack everything in the van, and we would go to the next city.
Yeah.
And the van had all the guitars, 4 guitars, all the suitcases and that. So we would have 2 vans.
Yeah.
Henry's in one van, and I'm in the other van with John Hawes, Conrad, the drummer. And he would have his cymbals and his suitcase. And I kept screwing up how to pack the van. And finally, John was, "Hey, can you do that?" And then he would just look at it, stand there and look at it. And then I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm trying to figure it out. And then he would do it in one take. I mean, usually you take a suitcase out, and then I'm like, how did you do that? And then he said he plays this game called Wooden Blocks.
Oh, wow.
It's an app on the phone. Now I'm so addicted to that freaking game. It's crazy. Don't start that game. You'd be like playing it. Yeah, it's better than Tetris because you really got to use your brain.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so now I play that, and it does help you with stacking instruments and packing stuff.
Check that out.
I don't know if that was a funny story, but... yeah.
Is there a dream?
If I think of a funny story...
Okay, go ahead.
No, say that again?
do you have a dream place that you would like to play that you haven't played, like that's on your list?
Not really. Yeah, because I've already played the stadium, the Blaisdell Arena, the Waukee Shell. Oh, the Mac Theater was fantastic. Yeah, I would love to do the Mac Theater again, to do my own thing. Because the Mac Theater, I think it's the best theater we have in a way, because it was designed well.
Yeah.
And it just sounds incredible in there. And but I gotta increase my audience, I guess.
Can you talk? You're also the founder and CEO of Hawaii Music Services. Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
Hawaii Music Services is just a place for people to. There was a lot of times that people didn't know how to charge, so they would go there, and a lot of musicians on the island was actually using that as a guideline to what people should charge for conventions and weddings and whatever parties, And so and especially Japanese clients, they want to know offhand, what are you going to charge me before I even talk to you, And the quality but then I realized everybody's quality is different, like you can't compare like a Hawaiian trio to me, because they're not going to be able to do the pop tunes.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest part about the Hawaiian Music Services. In fact, I'm just going to put that link to my website, because it's such an old website.
Yeah.
Don't even post it. But it's just going to link to my website, because a lot of musicians were using it as a guide to what they should be charging. So.
How long ago did you start playing with Kalapana? That was one of the questions that I wanted to ask you earlier.
I've been with him now 7 years. So I've been with Henry 6 years. So, yeah, but I don't know what's going on now. There's nothing in the books for us to play, and there's nothing in anybody's books right now.
Yeah.
Everything's got canceled. But after Malani died, that was devastating to the band, because he was, it's like John and Paul McCartney are gone of the Beatles. I mean, Paul McCartney is still alive, but I'm just using that as a reference. It's only. So, but the music lives on. That's the beauty about it. And I really want to do a tribute to Mackie Ferry concert at the Blue Note. That's on my bucket list. So.
Should do it, man. That'd be great.
Yeah, because he's got so many songs. Oh, there's a thing that you don't know that I've done. When Bruno was just making it, he invited me to his he was living in an apartment then.
Yeah.
Now he lives in a big house. So he invited me to stay with him. So I stayed with him. It was supposed to be a week, but I ended up staying 3 days because it was just too much work. Yeah, he made me work every day. So I actually played on a couple of his stuff that was for the Grammys. So that's me playing guitar and backup vocals on the Grammys performance when it was black and white. And so I was in the studio with him and Phil and Ari, his old engineer. They had a company called Smeezingtons. But anyway, I was blown away how hard he worked. He worked from 2 in the afternoon to 2 in the morning every day. So when I was there, that's what we did. And we didn't even eat lunch or dinner. I'd be starving. And I'm like, after that, I'd go back to his apartment. He said, dude, we didn't even eat dinner. He said, there's frozen pizza. Okay. So we would eat pizza. That was it. And then the next day, back to the studio. He's a fanatic. But, I think he got that because I am too. So he sees that that work ethics that we are, my family, we're all hardworking people.
And hard work pays
It's not
off.
that we're working hard, it's because
You guys love
exactly
it.
we love what we do. So yeah.
So it's not really work.
So
It's doing what you love. It's never work if you're passionate about.
yeah,
What
exactly.
you do.
Yeah. That's why I love the Facebook Live now because the comments I'm getting is like it's just to hear people say that you've stopped time for 2 hours. Thank you. You know.
You get to reach out to.
So I love that. Yeah. See, I don't have much of a Hawaii-based fan because I always played for tourists.
Yeah.
So if you notice, all the comments are from Japan, Canada, from California. There's nobody from Hawaii. I mean, well, there's a couple, but not as much as the Canadians and yeah, people from Seattle, from everywhere. So because since I'm not really a full-on Hawaiian music guy, you know, I don't do Hawaiian music as much as people think I do.
Yeah.
Just because from Hawaii, because people, I'll stick in one every 4 songs or something, but you know, I'm not really Hawaiian music.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I know you want to get to your lunch and then go back to your live feed, but I want to thank you so much for being on my show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, man. This is fun.
I can't wait to.
Let me know when you want to do it again.
Sounds good, and I can't wait to come back to Hawaii and watch your show over at the beach bar at.
Yeah, I'll take you out to lunch.
Sounds good. If you
Sounds good.
Visit John Valentine. You can find him on Facebook at Johnny-Valentine-Hawaii. Same with Instagram, John Valentine Hawaii, or go to johnvalentinehawaii.com. Go to his calendar and see what he's up to. You want to leave a tip? Go to PayPal, John at johnvalentine.biz, or Venmo him, John-Valentine-Hawaii.
Thanks, Nelson.
Thank you very much.
Greatly appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you too. You take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for joining me here at the Fun Never Ends podcast. We'll have another episode soon, so subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and off we go. All right. Thank you for listening, and keep rocking.
Yeah, Nelson. Thanks,